Hey, good morning, everybody. Okay, so let's see what we have on the list today. Sorry, every time I click to a new window, I'm going to get that bell because one of the stocks that I'm watching hit an alert, which was American Aluminum. American Aluminum is traditionally considered one of the first companies to kick off earnings season. And they're taking a dive here, so let's see. Alcoa Q4 results beat Street. Loss per share at $2.02 per share. Alcoa reported after markets closed Wednesday Q4 adjusted earnings per share of 26 cents compared with an adjusted loss of 31 per share in the prior year period. That result surpassed the 7-cent average estimate of analysts polled by Capital IQ. Revenue totaled $2.39 billion for the December quarter, down from $2.44 billion a year earlier. That result came above the consensus estimate of $2.37 billion. Shares fell more than 2% in after-hours trade, so on and so on. Okay, so they beat estimates, but it's still a year-over-year decline. So it's the stock's probably going to get beat up. I put, but it also ought to catch support, so I put a Fibonacci on it here. I'm going to pull up the 10-minute, and then I'll make that Fibonacci go away. So I have support levels on American Aluminum at 22.12, which it just broke down through in the pre-market. So if it closes above that, or let's say if it opens above that support level of $22.12 pre-bell, then it's in play. But if it opens below $22.12, then only the $20.84 price support is in play for my strategy. Okay, let's go to the top here. PSX, let's see. So let me make that larger on the 10-minute. I have support levels at $73.72 and $72.83. Again, I put a Fibonacci on it, and this is the 75% and 61.8% retracement levels. So right now it's hard to see, but pre-market it's open. It's at $74 even. So let me get that Fibonacci out of the way, and then we'll check the news on it. Philip 66 Insider granted stock award extends buy trend. On January 15th, 2021, Marna C. Whittington, director, was awarded 2,771 Phillips 66 shares having an approximate value of $270,000 based on the daily closing price. Subsequent to the Form 4 filing with the SEC, Whittington owns 32,000 shares of the company stock, which have a market value of blah, blah, blah. There have been 10 insider transactions during the 90. Okay, so this is insider buying, apparently. She was either awarded it or is buying, whatever. Refining, shares average. Okay, whatever. Okay, so that's Phillips. Looking for a bounce off of 73.72 or 72.83. I will probably, energy is going to be favored over the next couple of quarters by investors. So I will probably look for the first level for a 1% bounce. That's 73 cents, roughly 73, 74 cents. So I'll jump into a position there on PSX and see if I can get a bounce on this pullback. United Airlines is next on the agenda here. Let's pull that up. And again, I've put support levels on the Fibonacci. So right now it is sitting at $44.27 per share pre-market. Looking for a bounce right there at $44, or if it just plunges through that, then the next support level that I have is at $41.72. It's kind of far away, but it's on watch. If it hits that price, I expect a 1% bounce to be able to profit from. So I'll let the trades come to me. I'd be surprised to see the first support level hold. So I'll probably look for a second support level on this one. I just do not like airlines. So that's why I don't want, that's why I just have a bias against airlines. It's not good, but it's not good to have a bias. It's good. It's best just to stick to the process. So the process includes being able to pick my support levels that I'm interested in getting into. So that second support level on United Airlines, this 41.72, is more attractive to me than this $40. And the only reason that that $44 support line is on there, again, is because of the Fibonacci retracement that coincides. There's this is actually, I think this is the 61.8. Let me see where I have it drawn here. This is on the daily, and I have the Fibonacci drawn from this high to this run up here, to the low of this run up right here. And so, yeah, the 61.8 fib is right there at 43.99. That's where the $44 level comes in. So that might be an okay entry. And then the 50% fib is the 41.74. Maybe because it's the 61.8 fib, I might be more interested in United Airlines. It looks like it took a pretty good bounce there off of the 50% fib back in early January. So that 61.8 fib might hold. I'll put it in order for it. So then moving on now, small cap momentum. We've got BBIG, and it's making a really impressive move. It's I don't have it. Let me see here. BBIG pre-market is up 229%. That's an impressive run up. I have Fibonacci's on this. I usually don't use Fibonacci's for trading small cap momentum. I usually just use the strategy of the next 1 minute candle to make a new high. Is going to be the candle to jump on for a quick run up for a few cents. So I have Fibonacci's on this one. I'm just putting them there as a bit of a guide. I don't know if I will use, I probably won't use any of the Fibonacci's as a entry. I just am going to use them as a guide for what how the stock is performing. And if it's holding a Fibonacci, then I'll use the momentum strategy of next 1 minute candle to break into a new high to get into a trade. I won't really use the Fibonacci levels for a trade, just an indicator of how the stock is behaving. Next up is ADXN. Oh yeah, and news on BBIG. I couldn't find any news. I don't see any specific news on BBIG. And there's a bunch of stuff here 18 minutes ago, 19 minutes ago, 19 minutes ago. Let's see, this thing started to pop up at 6 o'clock in the morning, so we'd have to go back to like 3 hours ago. 28 minutes ago. Post its interim report. Let's see, what is the name of this company? Vinco. Okay, so it's Vinco. And I'm just not seeing anything specific about Vinco. And it would be 3 hours ago. So let's see, Wall Street. So 3 hours ago, Asian, Nikkei, Edify, Mithrisa, Dreamfinders. Yeah, I'm not seeing any news here about BBIG. Let's go back to the top there. Well, it's on watch, so I mean it's doing its thing. So ADXN here has pulled back quite a bit from its pre-market run-up. Started taking off at 4 o'clock this morning, and now it's pulling back. It's almost all the way. It touched its 25%. I can't really call that a Fibonacci level because 25% isn't a Fibonacci level. I just adjusted it from, I think it's like the Fibonacci level down there's like 23.8 or something like that. I just set it at 25, and also same thing with 75. I learned that from another trader. It just tends to work better. Okay, so and then I've got BBI. So Gene, Gene's doing a pretty good job of holding up here. Had a run up starting at 7 o'clock. Let's see the news here. Genetic Technology secures U.S., Australia, and New Zealand distribution rights for Predicitix, whatever that is. That's good. There's nothing wrong. No, that was on November 30th, so there's no recent news. I don't know. It's running up. It's holding the fib. 750s, probably a pretty good entry. However, I just don't use fibs on momentum, so I'm just going to see if the stock holds that fib or if it breaks through the 75 fib, whatever it is, and then use the momentum strategy to enter into the next move higher. Essentially is all that's about. So then let's open up the SPY. Let's see here. Home, and home. Is it Barcelona? What is that in the background? Don't think I've ever been there, wherever that is. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Home, chart, and chart. So let's go to my portfolio where I have the SPY. Then we'll go to the indicators that I like to use on the SPY, which is the VIX and the AD. And let's see here. Okay, so the SPY's dipping down a little bit from yesterday's open, or from yesterday's close, I'm sorry. Dipping it down a little bit pre-market. That's actually, if it continues to dip down pre-market, I kind of like that. It'll be a buy. That means, the buyers will come in and buy the dip. The VIX, I've had this level of 22.2 on the VIX now for months, since it gapped up in March. So let's go, I'll show you here. You can see back here, the VIX gapped up here when in late February when the market took a downturn. And so it's below the top of the bottom of the gap here. And then 18 from where it gapped up is roughly 18.4. So this range, so it's in the gap. The VIX is in the gap, and it's gone into the gap a few times, and it's signaling lower lows. Like so, right here, there's a low. Then here, there's a low. Then here's a lower low. I expect the VIX to start dropping down below the gap now, which is very bullish for the SPY. So I will be looking for opportunities to get long some SPY options. And today, on a pullback, if we get an early shakeout on the SPY, it drops down, maybe a point or two, something like that, then it'll be a good spot to enter. Let's see if I can actually find a spot to enter today on the SPY. There's a pivot here. There's a pivot right here. So the bottom of that pivot, 382, could be a good spot to enter. And I'll put the top of that pivot in as well for entries on the SPY. So between 382.75 and 382.21, put an alarm on those. If it hits, if I'm not paying attention, I'm looking at a momentum trade or something, that'll grab my attention. So then let's see. The SPY, and it could be the pre-market price too. I'll put a pre-market bottom in there and see if the pre-market bottom will give us a spot for an entry on the SPY today. Okay. So that's the sort of big picture for the day. Those are the strategies, and those are the stocks that I'm watching today. And then if anything else pops up, you know, on the scanner, I've got my scanner open, and I will keep an eye on my scanner. If you like what you see and you're looking for a place to hang out and trade, remember to like and subscribe. Look forward to having some company. Oh, did I cover Under Armour? Under Armour. So Under Armour, I have a level of 19. I have two levels on here. So one of 1749, another one of 1955. I seriously doubt we're gonna get. Okay, so United Airlines just hit a pre-market. Yeah, United Airlines is dipping down below. So United Airlines, we'll see. You know, if it holds this level pre-market, or if it starts to fall below. I'd actually like to see it fall below. I just don't like airlines. You know, and that's a really bad bias to have when it comes to just trading the charts. You know, I could really. What I'm supposed to do is just have any, you know, whatever stock symbol it is, it doesn't matter. You know, then, you know, the way the chart behaves is the way that I trade it. And I don't have a bias toward it, but I do toward airlines. It's if it opens up below this $44 level, then I no longer use that level as support for a trade. I will then, if I get an entry, it'll be all the way down here at 41.72. There could be an entry over here at 42.26 off of this recent kind of dip down, and it got support in this area and moved back up again. I just don't like airlines, but I'll trade it. Okay, so where was I here? Let's see, United Airlines, Under Armour. Okay, so Under Armour, I've got this level on Under Armour here of, there's a gap. All right, so really technically the bottom of the gap is this spot over here at, let's get that a little bit closer. So the bottom of the gap is actually at $20.21, and here's the top of the gap. So the price of Under Armour gapped down. They were having a heck of a time with sales. They're a growth company, and so when a growth company can't hit its numbers, it gets punished. And this was back in March, February timeframe, and they got nailed. So it's crept back up into the gap, and it's at it's getting up to the top of the gap now. So there's room for this thing to run to $20.21. What you want to see is for that gap to get closed, to get filled, and then to see the stock come back and test the top of the gap, and then keep moving forward. So you want to see it jump up, and then come back, test the gap, and then test the top of the gap, and then move out. So this is one that I'll have probably, if it can close above the gap today, I'll keep it on my large cap movers list to keep an eye on it for another trade at another day. So I always have SBE. This is one that I've been keeping. I'm waiting for SBE to come down and test the support line. If we get, so it's got 1, 2, 3, it broke here, but then closed back above on this day, and came down and tested it here. Made another run up, but didn't go to the high of this channel, which was I was expecting. So I wasn't looking for any entries. I did enter around 36 a share, and then sold around 39 a share. So I caught this little bounce off of this support line. But I wasn't willing to hold it to hit the next support line. The higher, or you could call it resistance line, just because of experience. Once a nice, pretty clean pattern gets put in like this, you've got a really nice wave and then a hit here. It usually just traders, we're called pattern day traders, PDT. And once it starts putting in a really well-defined pattern, it usually doesn't play out as pretty anymore. So I'm staying away from it until I get a bounce off of this support line. if it breaks down below the support line. Energy is a good place to be. I don't think it'll break down below the support line. I think that it's got higher to go. It's just that the pattern for an entry is not strong. And I'll have high confidence in getting into a long position right up here off of a bounce of this support level. So then there's DraftKings, another favorite of mine. I like Dave Portnoy, the CEO of DraftKings, and I have so I have an entry here from yesterday, which would have been a fantastic entry. If you see this, I got into it early and managed to make a few cents off of it. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get into it early. I got into it late off of this bounce. This bounce happened really quickly. Go back to yesterday's 1 minute here. And so while I was trading something else, this right here is the bounce that I wanted to enter into. Right there. That entry right there, right in this range right here is what I wanted to enter into for the 1% bounce, right? And I missed that entry. Then it came down below the price, and I think so. I wound up holding on to it, and then only making a few cents off of this trade. I think I bought, instead of at 52.35, I bought somewhere around 52.40 or so. And so then I kind of had to just like sit there and gut it out until it decided to turn around. Oh yeah, that's right. I bought, okay, so I had an average of $53 a share. I bought, after it came close to this line right here, I bought, and then I wound up with 400 shares at an average of $53 a share. So I bought, kind of high. I think I bought it like right. I really don't remember. I bought it too high. I didn't buy it at its at the support level where I had designated, and then I got into a second 200 shares a little bit higher than this 52.35 level, and so I wound up with a $53 a share average. And then once it hit a little bit over $53 a share, I got rid of it, and so it was essentially a break even. I think I made like $10 or $15 on it. So it definitely, I did not follow my own good advice here for a 52, for the level that I had on it. So today it's at 53.53, and it's a level on it for today. I don't know. I don't really have a read on it, a very good read on it today. So it's on watch. It's on my list until it decides to start moving one way or the other. That's discernible. That's really easily identifiable. I'm just going to kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit, so it's there. Okay, Under Armour. Let's get that brush mark off of Under Armour there. Okay, and now UAL. UAL is holding on to its under that price. Let's refresh that alarm. It'll probably trigger again here in the pre-market. It's it's right on the price. Let's see what time we're getting to here. We got about 20 minutes. Yeah, so UAL is going to trigger that. I'm going to stop. And now all the rest of my windows are going to give me no, maybe not. Good. Okay. I'm not hearing that stupid alarm anymore. All right, so we've got about 12 minutes to open here. I need to open up my trading windows and get logged in, and then put all of the stocks into the windows I'm using to trade. All right, so the SBVCF switched over to GRAMF yesterday, and it's now listed instead of it being just a number. Let's see how it's doing pre-market here. And pre-market, it's coming down to 1170. I'm in 200 shares at $10.12. So it hit a high of this 1397 a couple days ago, but I couldn't do anything with position because my brokerage hadn't recognized the new symbol yet. So we'll get off of that. Let's see, news. Lagarde comments at ECB press. There ought to be some news in this thing. I don't see any right off the bat. So we'll go back to PSX here. All right. Large cap mover, PSX. AA. UAL. UAA. On the momentum side, we've got BBIG. ADXN. E&E. Okay. Now, BBIG. So, it has a pretty small float. There it goes back above the 61 again. Okay, it has a pretty small float, 12 million shares. So I imagine what's going to happen is one of two scenarios, and this is what you typically see with momentum stocks. So there are three scenarios that usually play out with momentum stocks. It gets a big rush of buying at the open and has a run up for a gap and go trade. And so you basically can enter into a position at the open for 20, 30 cents gain on a couple thousand shares. So put about $400 in your pocket and let it go. And then it'll pull back and then run up again. It'll find some support and run up again. So it'll run up. It'll at the open. It'll run up. I don't know how much it'll run up. You never know. Nobody knows. And with a stock like this that's been at this $1, let's look at the daily on this thing. So yeah, it's been in this. So it IPO'd in May of 2018, and then just kind of been in this, low down area now. And it's at all-time highs here. Yeah, I can't even get it on the chart. Oh wait, okay, no, at 780. So I'm gonna put a couple lines up here. There, and then there at the top here. Okay. So 780 could run to 11 to new all-time highs today, and so it can run up straight out of the bell. It can run up and start hitting highs and then pull back. It could run up and keep going, or it could pull back and then run up. In any which case, let's see how many shares have been traded on it so far pre-market. Okay, so Trade Ideas is showing that it has an 8.21 million share float instead of an 11 million share float. and it's traded 13.54 million shares pre-market. So, you know, it's going to be crowded. And so that means it'll kind of trade like a big cap, like a large cap. Oh, wow. American Airlines just tanked, just blew through my other support line. So let's see, we've got about 5 minutes to the open. Okay. So BBIG, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it. I'll put it up on the 1 minute so that way I can see, you know, the next 1 minute candle to make a new high. But that's definitely, BBIG is definitely the one that I'll be watching this morning most carefully. And then Gene is pretty good too. Gene has Trade Ideas is showing Gene with an 11.6 million share float and 10 million shares traded already. So it's crowded too. It's a crowded trade also. So we will see. Phillips is popping up big time there right before the open. Under Armour, UAL. Okay. Where it opens is important. American Aluminum seems to have gotten a bounce right there at my entry. Definitely, at least that's a 2% bounce right there. So, you know, if I'd gotten into that, you know, pre-market, then yeah, I would have made 2% already. But I just tend to stay away from pre-market stuff. Okay, we've got about 3 minutes to the bell. So 465 definitely looks like support in case BBIG starts pulling back that far. And then this 540-ish level could also act like support in case it starts to pull back right after the open. We've got about a minute to the bell. About 30 seconds to the bell. open. So watching BBIG here. A lot of trading going on. Okay. Big dip happening there. Got bought up. All right, now it's making its move higher. So let's get into a position here. Another dip down there. It's not bad. CLSN is hitting the CGIX. CGIX just hit the scanner. That's a stock that I've traded on a couple of occasions. Gene is hitting the scanner. I'm going to get into a couple shares of Gene here. Okay. Gene's kind of falling away here pre-market or at the live hours. There we go. BBIG is working out. We'll let BBIG run. See if we can get, let's put this on the 1 minute. You definitely don't want to see that on Gene. I'm going to let Gene go for whatever reason it's decided to not behave, and let my winners run. So BBIG is running here. Let's see. So down about 180 bucks on Gene there on that trade. We'll let BBIG run here. Looks like it's going to try, and if it starts to sell off, then I'll dump the shares. As of right now, let's see, I bought BBIG at $5.74 and at $5.99 a share. So I'm up about 150 bucks on that one right now. Gene is still taking a tumble. I'm in Under Armour at $19.37 a share for 300 shares. Yeah, BBIG is doing its thing. I'm willing to give Under Armour a few minutes here because it's a large, well, it's doing its thing. All right, I'm going to take profits on BBIG right here. I'm at an average, there we go, and an average at 587. All right, so let's see here if it shows up. BBIG isn't showing up on my transactions yet. There we go. So I bought BBIG at 574, 599, and then sold it 655 and 658. So $75 plus, so roughly $160. So I'm down probably like $20 on the day right now because of Gene, which has decided to just head off in the southern direction here. The 0.5 fib did a pretty good job of holding up in between these two fibs, and then at the open it's just selling off. So this 50% fib right here at 691, let's see how it behaves. If it can hold 691, it might be an entry. ADXN isn't doing much. BBIG is doing okay. The SPY's selling off just a tad. I mean, it's dipping down. I mean, I don't want to say it's selling off. It's dipping down just a few 20, 30 cents at the open there. No big deal. Okay, so if we can get a 1 minute pullback here on BBIG and then get another, 1 minute candle to break higher, then there'll be another entry on BBIG. A little bit of a pullback right here is okay. Ooh, this is not what you want to see. You got to take profits quickly on momentum trades. Sometimes when you get these stocks that'll run, to like 40, 50, 80 bucks sometimes, but other times, you got to just get your entry, take your profits, and say thank you. That is not what you want to see on BBIG. You don't want to see it go lower than the open. So it's now retraced more than 100% of this move right here. UAA is doing a little bit of the same thing. I think I'm going to have to dump the UAA shares there, unfortunately. I'm keeping an eye on BBIG. So the strategy is essentially if BBIG breaks this $16 and the high of this candle here, $16.19, then it ought to start breaking higher. $15, $19, $20. Okay, so here we go. I haven't entered into a position yet. Okay, so the SPY just came down to a buy spot here. A little early dip buy. Let's see if I can get. I don't have my SPY trade set up, so. See if we get some buyers coming in on the SPY right here. I've got a pretty small position of 385 or 5 calls at strike of 385 for 99 cents a piece. BBIG is making another move here. That was an entry for BBIG. I'm watching the level 2 on BBIG for an entry. There's a 5,000 share seller at 625. Just got eaten up. All right. So I'm in 500 shares at 634 a share. Looking for this thing to move back above 650. Oh, nope, gotta dump it. All right. So breakout or bailout. You know, if I sit here and hang on to it, I could, like, waiting for the next move up after my entry, I could be waiting until it goes back down to 550. So let's see. I got in at $6.34 per share and got out at $6.09 per share on 500 shares, which is 25 cents per 500, so $125 loss roughly on BBIG there. So I mean, I'm keeping the losses small. It's very important in trading. Perhaps on the next, after the next pullback, usually. So that's a rather significant pullback, and for it to retrace all the way back down to 100% here, 566. Yeah, that was a good spot to buy, but there's no way of knowing that until you know, it plays out that way. So yeah, just got to kind of hang in there and wait for a good entry. And so I attempted to get in right here at 619 as it broke past 619, but I got filled at 634, which is damn near the top of this candle right here. So that didn't work out, but I mean, you know, there's always the next trade. Under Armour, it's giving back its move up here. Let's see if it can hold on to the round number of $19. Volume has fallen off a bit on BBIG. Solid buying right here, but then it only took 2 million, 4 million shares. So there's 3 million, 5 million, 8 million, 10.5 million shares worth. All right, I'm gonna take another stab at BBIG here. For the breakout over that pivot. Okay, let's see, did I get in? All right, I'm in at 643 a share. See if this thing can continue to run or if that's going to be a false breakout. Okay, here we go. No, yes, no. 650, there we go. No, yes. 650, 48, 651, 60, there we go. Get to the back of that. If we can break back above the top of this breakdown candle, we are definitely in business. I'm in 1,000 shares at an average of $6.37. I'm taking profits there. And that ought to move me to positive on the day, that 1,000 shares right there. I probably just sold a little bit early. However, I most likely just turned myself positive on the day, so I'm just going to take it. Okay, a quick breakout there above this post-market high or market trading high right here. See if it passes or fails at this point. All right. So it's a little bit tough to do the math on that last trade of BBIG on those 1,000 shares. But essentially, I bought 500 at 631 and I bought 500 at 643 and then sold all of them at 662. So that's roughly 27 cents, so 270 bucks roughly on that trade. BBIG. Okay. All right, now the SPY has started to, so annoying that the bell goes off. So I bought calls on the SPY after it got this bounce at 383.60, and I think I bought it right around when it hit 383.70. So the SPY is working on holding this little pre-market. See this pre-market low right here? A little bit tough to see. I'll blow it up here. This is a pre-market low right here from yesterday's post-market trading, and so it came down to test yesterday's post-market trading low right here, and so now I'm looking for it to just continue to move higher for the rest of the day. that's, here we are inside this first 10-minute breakdown candle from 384.50 roughly to 383.73. So if a nice bottom candle here. Let's see if it's the market is bullish. Everything's green lights. There's a global quad 2 in play, which means there are a lot of people who are bullish. Dip down. So Under Armour hit this level of $20.80. And for some reason, I guess I was a little bit late to the trading window. So I'm in Under Armour at 1937. So it did hit that support level and get a nice bounce here of almost $1. It looks like I just wasn't paying attention to the window and didn't take profits on it. So right now I'm kind of just sitting back waiting for Under Armour to make its move back up here to this 22.12 area. The IPWR is hitting the scanners a lot. BBIG, yeah, it looks like it's hit some resistance here. It might be able to gain some more energy to make a move back over this 676. And if it does, it'll be a good place to enter. Breaking 677 is the spot for an entry. Actually, really, a break of 690 is going to be the next best spot for an entry on BBIG for momentum higher. This thing has a pre-market of 780 and an all-time high in the neighborhood of 11. Yeah, right around 1163 to 1109. I wonder if it has the energy to make that high today, to break that high. $18.96. It looks like it might have found a bottom here at $18.90. Under Armour did. We'll see. Well, 1 minute. Where do my levels go on Under Armour? Oh, there they are, 17.49. Well, that's strange. Anyway, whatever. American Aluminum. Oh, I was looking at the American Aluminum chart, not the Under Armour chart. All right. Anyway. Oh, BBIG just made a big move. Boom, past that 690 level. I wasn't paying attention. So, no trade for me. That's what I get for not paying attention. So, yeah, it's making huge moves here. I think most likely 780 is definitely going to be near-term resistance, and then the $11 mark will be the next bit of resistance after that. Gene. go. Another move on Gene. Yeah, it just broke this 761 level, and that is a spot for an entry on momentum. Let's see what it does there. There's this big candle, 3.8 million shares traded here, 3.9 million shares traded. So now it's hitting the pre-market high of 780 and just blew through 780. Let's see if we get buyers coming in at 780 again. Just pushing the highs. This thing is probably going to start squeezing into a halt here pretty soon. Lately, look at that, over 9 now. Lately, it's trying to squeeze into a halt at 9:15. Okay, pulling back away from 9:15, and so now, yeah, it's coming down pretty heavily there from that recent high. Let it pull back. Right now, I'm just a spectator. Hang on a second. I had to mute the mic there. A little cough. Okay, so yeah, dipping back down. Definitely a lot of momentum there, so these are really clear. So this is not what I would call a very pretty setup. This pullback right here really kind of probably spooked a lot of people, but then this pullback and this pullback right here are pretty really nice looking pullbacks. So usually after the second pullback, momentum stock is kind of done for the morning. And what it's done now is it's put in a topping candle. It's going to take a lot of work. So this is a high volume candle, 4.6 million shares traded in this 1 minute time frame. And it's got a big topping tail. To make it past, for this stock to make it past this 914 level or so, it's going to take a lot of buying energy to get it up there past that level again. I'm not saying it won't happen. It's just not probable. So BBIG is probably done for the morning. I mean, it's about to prove me wrong here. The high right here is $9.15, and it just went to $9.15 again. So, yep, a break of that 9.15. I don't know. It's hard to say. It could be back on its way to 11 to new all-time highs. This big red selling candle right here, though, that's a big warning shot. There we go, 916. That's a big warning candle. But you know, there's no telling. There are no hard and fast rules. They're just high probability setups. There's no 100% setup for a win. in the stock market. You know, everything is, it's all risk, and it's all about managing risk. Let's see what it looks like on the 5 minute. Well, the 5 minute looks okay. The 5 minute chart looks pretty decent here. It's not a bad looking chart. So I'll keep an eye on the 5 minute for a 5 minute setup. So we'll see how things work out. Gene attempting to curl back up here. Looks like the 691 area was support for it. Let's see how it behaves here over 750. Nice setup here between fibs. American Aluminum had a nice bump there at the open. Phillips. United Airlines. 4172 is the support level I have on United Airlines. That's the level I have for a buy on United Airlines. And it definitely plummeted through that first level there, so we'll see how it goes. Under Armour, meh. Looks like it may have come down to test the top of this. This is the gap right in here. This is the gap right in here, so came down to fill the gap and missed it by a few cents, but it got to the top of the body of this run-up candle here. Let's see if it can get some support and start heading off in the opposite direction now. Let me get an order ready for PSX here. I have an entry at 73.72 on PSX. BBIG is falling back. And Gene, this is kind of chop formation here. Let's see, it might have some support here. Let's see. I don't see anything really attractive there. Alcoa, American Aluminum Company of America. So the ad is taking a bit of a dump here. I mean, it opened at 301 and has gone negative 1100 since it opened, roughly 1100 since it opened. And the VIX made an attempt for 22.2 here. You know, I would really like to see the VIX just tank and turn down big time. We'll see. But it's definitely below 22.2, but 0.5. Just want to see it. There's no volume on the VIX, but this is a big red candle, bit of a topping, kind of a large body for a topping candle. Really, it's not as well defined as the topping candle back here on BBIG on the 1 minute. This candle right here, this 1 minute candle. So far, this is the highest volume on the day. And the topping candle is the wick is much bigger than the body and the combination of the bottom wick plus the body. So a little jab there through this Fibonacci level. I think this is the 100% Fibonacci level right here. Now it's up 283% on the day, but on this move, this is the 100% mark on the move that it's made so far today. Looks like it might catch a bid right here, but now this is all a really way too technical for momentum. So when you want to look at technicals, it's on a stock that isn't like this sort of hot stock trade kind of thing. You know, some traders definitely took an entry right here though at 783, and whoever did is being rewarded for it. By a few cents here from 783 to 832, so about 40 cents of profit was possible at that entry. This could be considered a pullback right here, you know, for another move up, but it's not a high probability trade on momentum setups. And the SPY right now is just kind of hanging around the low here. It's I mean, put in a little bit of a bear flag there on the open. It looks like, I mean, it'll have to play out. We'll have to see how it plays out, but it looks like it's gotten support here at the 380, 355 level. Definitely want to see it move past its open at 384.47. I guess it's wrestling with yesterday's close right now. Yesterday's close was here at 383.82. There we go. It's starting to move up. I got into 5 contracts, 5 call contracts right around this level right here, right in here somewhere. In a bull market, when things just tend to go up, they'll catch some support somewhere and keep moving. And it's just a matter of, what's the probability on it. The SPY looks like it's trying to creep back up here, 21.1 to 21.7. I'd like to see it fall away. It's hitting, the SPY right now is on the 10-minute VIX is hitting overbought. So the VIX ought to start weakening here, and as it does, the SPY ought to start running up. I have strikes of 385 that expire tomorrow on the SPY, and that ought to be helpful. Under Armour is just not getting its act together here. Just wait and see if it decides to turn itself around. When does earnings come up on Under Armour? Earnings is all the way out here in February on Under Armour. Okay, the VIX is falling away, so the SPY ought to be popping up a bit here. Yeah, it's popping up. So let's see. See if the SPY can break over its open here of 384.52. Well, that's its high. Its open is 384.49. So it's about 6 cents away from breaking out over its open. If it can do that, if it can get back up to over the open and kind of continue grinding up, then that'll be good news for the SPY and good news for the options that I have on it. Right now I'm up $54 on those options. Is the dollar up today? Let's take a look at the dollar. Dollar's falling away. Yeah, dollar's falling down. It's typically quite bullish for everything else. A little dip at the open. There we go. SPY's breaking past its open price. So, just kind of like always, we'll see the SPY break above, come back, and not quite test, not quite hit its open, but get close to it, and then pull away again and head off higher. About 4 minutes left on this candle. The VIX is, I'd definitely like to see the VIX fall below. I mean, the lower it goes, the better. You know, the nicer the trade will be. The VIX just fell down from, hit as high as 22, and is now coming down. It's at 21.6 now. So some fear is coming out of the market. Let's see if we can get some buyers to come into the market and start pushing prices higher. Under Armour is trying to test 19 again. Got a high of the day at 1954 on Under Armour. Right now on the 10-minute, it's putting in a bull flag. I mean, you know, these things can turn into, you know, anything else. I mean, there are all sorts of scenarios. But right now, it's a bull flag. What I'd like to see, I mean, because I'm long, is I'd like to see it turn into a U and say, you know, bye-bye to all those low prices. So we shall see. I'm in 300 shares at $19.37 a share. SPY is getting up. A slow grind, a grind up over this open right here and hold. You know, just kind of grind up here and hold and then consolidate and then continue higher. That'd be a beautiful thing. See, it's 10:15. Well, it seems like it was, you know, just like maybe 15 minutes that passed, but, you know, it's been 45 minutes since the open. It's incredible how time flies when you're having fun. PSX. So usually 73.80, so it's off by 8 cents. So usually when a stock comes down close to my level but then doesn't fill, doesn't actually hit my price, that means that my number is incorrect and the stock has lower to go. If it comes down here and it hangs around this price level down here for a little bit, that means it has another lower target in mind. So I'm going to, this thing has a pretty decent history of some volatility here. Like, you know, this move up to here, then back, and here and back, and then here and back. So I'm going to ease up on that trade. I just canceled it. 72.83. Yeah, I mean, it could hit it today. If it does, I'll definitely buy at 72.83. American Aluminum, meh. United Airlines is definitely putting in a big bull flag here. Or I'm sorry, big bear flag. That is a bear flag saying I'm about to go lower. So, and it's an airline. So yeah, if it hits that 41.72 level, I'll be a buyer there. It's a good spot to buy. Under Armour, I'm just gonna have to let you go. It's about to start its next leg down. Let me get out of this thing. All right, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, Under Armour looks like it's just going to head lower for the day. PSX. Yeah, so I got out of that. I canceled that PSX order just in time, didn't I? So yeah, it's headed quite a bit lower today. Let's see, the VIX is holding at 21.6. SPY, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the SPY here. It spiked that 38.49 level and caught support. Let's see if that's good support or not. Let's see if this thing decides to head higher or not. Where it sits now, I'm up about $95 on those SPY options. $90. $73.72 gonna hold for Phillips. BBIG. So BBIG, for now, it's done. Looks like it's on its way to stair step down. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. That could be called a bull flag on the 5-minute. That's not bad. It's tested the 783 level or pre-market 780 level and has gotten buyers a few times on the 5-minute. 1, 2, 3 over the past 15 minutes. It's found buyers at that 780, roughly 780 level. It's momentum though, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. See if more buyers come in. SPY's making a little push higher. My strikes are at 385. So right now I'm up on those 5 calls. I'm up $134 on those 5 calls as it stands right now. I mean, 385 is probably the number that it's chasing. Let's see, we're roughly at yesterday's highs now, 384.75. I'm going to take another stab on a small size here on BBIG of 200 shares. Got an order in for $8.10 a share. See if I can get filled. There we go, I got filled. So this is a nice bull flag, and it's starting to make a U. So let's see if it'll challenge this high here at $9. I'm in 200 shares at $8.10 a share. Pretty small, not a lot of risk. Not a high confidence trade setup. If it falls below the 781 level again, then I'll have to let it go. So 3460, SPY's coming back down a bit. So right now I'm in the SPY and I'm in BBIG. I'm going to put those two at the front here next to each other so I don't have to click so far back and forth. About 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. There we go. So the price for BBIG to push past at this point right now is 842, 844. I'm starting to catch a little bit of a bid here. There might be some traders that have this thing on watch. All right. Little dip down there at the close of the candle. A little bit of a run up there at the open of this candle. I'll go ahead and flatten my position there. I think that was a pretty small, like $10 gain there. But I don't like the way that it dipped down. So, that was a $5 gain on BBIG. $6 gain on BBIG. Breakout or bailout. So after it moves past 844, I'll look for an entry on BBIG. For right now, that's the price for it to beat. Okay, so now the only other thing that I'm in is in the SPY. I have a sell to close ready on these options that I bought at $1.24. They're $1.25 right now, and I got in them at 99 cents a piece. I'm gonna switch over to the spiral fast. So it's hard to say which way it's going to go from here. The VIX is popping up a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and sell those. All right, it just hit 10:30 a couple minutes ago. SPY worked on getting up over its open there, and it's done that. I'm not interested in sitting out and waiting out the grind, seeing what happens. BBIG is still kind of, I don't know, it's hit this price down here, and if it's going to break up or break down, there's only one way of telling, is that if it's going to break up, it's when it starts breaking up. This 844 level right now is the price for BBIG to beat in order to start making it higher into higher prices. Until that happens, there's nothing for me to trade against. Let's see, PSX did catch a pretty good bounce right there, that 73, 72 level. It really looked like it was going to tank, and then it popped up to 74.14. So I mean, there's only like 14 cents or 40 cents worth of trade there to grab. So it didn't even make a 1% move off of that dip there. American Aluminum is just kind of hanging around this number down here, which means that it probably has lower to go. It beat estimates, American Aluminum did, but it did not improve its year-over-year performance. So Alcoa is probably going to get beaten up for a couple days. United Airlines, I hate airlines. It's putting in a bear flag. It looks like it has lower to go. Under Armour, I definitely sold Under Armour. I definitely got rid of my position down here at the low, but it's not performing. So, I would still be negative on it anyway. ADXN is just kind of falling away. It hasn't hit the scanners, hasn't made any noise. And Gene is definitely falling away here. It hasn't hit the scanners either. Looks like it's trying to get some support around this level, but I'm not interested. It's something you really, in the correct level to have taken would have been the 691 move to 751 from this fib to this fib. That would have been the proper play, and only right here, only right at that spot to there. This spot right here could have been a trade, but you don't have as high of a degree of confidence in a trade once it's come down to a number and moved away from it. When it comes down to it again, it's not the same trade. So, yeah. So that's kind of the morning rush right there. That was pretty much it for the morning run. Let's see how I did. I think I'm only up a little bit, like a few bucks. Do I have any other open positions? No. Okay. So all of my morning trades are over with. Got I don't want to say spanked, but I took a $161 loss on Under Armour, a $125 loss on BBIG, and a $180 loss on Gene. But then I also got gains of $123 on the SPY, $6 on BBIG, $76 on Gram F, and then BBIG took a few trades on it, managed to get it $17, $75, $61, $92, and then $2.40. And then BBIG also $60 and $82. So let's see what happens when it all gets added together. Realize game. $132. SPY is spiking up a bit there. So I did get out a little bit early on the SPY right there. However, it's getting out early profitable. So after all those trades, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, $132. Gene was a disappointment there. I think I got into Gene. Let's see. I can't see on this one. All right, so Gene, I bought 200 shares. I bought 200 shares at an average of $8.09 a piece. And I sold them, I got out of them at $7.20 a piece. So I really did hang on to that a lot longer. I should have gotten out of it at 20 cents a piece, and I held on to it for too long. So $8.10. Oh, I got into it right here at the high of this move after the gap and go. And I ought to know better than that. I've been doing this long enough to know that the first 2 minutes of trading, first 3 minutes of trading roughly, is the gap and go, and people are going to take profits on it on the move. And then got out down here at 720. So I went from, I bought really right here in this topping wick right here. That was me. I was one of those people. And then let it go down here at 720. So, I could have capped some of my losses if I had waited for it to come back up to 750 or so. But really, the spot for me to have gotten out was at 780 or 790, 20 cents lower at 790 once it started to head off in the wrong direction on me. So it's a mistake that I will probably make again in the future. Just what the goal is to make the mistake with far less frequency and to cap those losses. So then let's see, the other one that I got into is on Under Armour. I got in at 1937, like right at the open. I put in an order expecting Under Armour to make a decent run up. Now, I had an order in at the open for 1937, and I got filled at 1937. And I was really expecting Under Armour to make a nice big run up, but instead it's putting in this bear flag. And so on this dip down here, I let it go. Let's see. We're Under Armour. Bought at 1937 and I sold at 1883. So a little bit more than 50 cents per share on 300 shares, which came out to roughly $150 down. But then I did do a pretty good job here on BBIG. Where did BBIG go? Here it is. I got a lot of entries and exits on BBIG. The first trade I took on it was at 574. Bought at 574 and 599, and then sold at 656 and 659. I took a small losing. Let's see. Took a $125 loss on 500 shares. So I got into a bad spot there. So early on, I gained $130 and then knocked 125 of it away, but then came back and made another 100 and looks like another 100 and close to 200. Let's see, 150, 225, 240. Made about another 240 on it, and then the SPY made about 123. So up $132 on the day. I'll take it. I'm going home. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Good luck out there trading, and I will see you tomorrow.